Simple but incredibly important, because what we're saying is what happens to you matters. You matter. Now, another thing that we like to have acknowledged, I think, is our injuries along the way. Now, those of us who are parents will probably all remember the points at which our kids come home and they tell us some tale of injustice or some other kid being bad to them at school or, some little drama that has erupted. And really what they're looking for here is to see our response, aren't they? They're looking to see that we are appropriately appalled, right? And I think that this is more important than it sounds at first glance, because actually how the parent responds and communicates tells the child something important about who they are and their value. When a parent is appropriately appalled, we learn things like, I deserve better treatment and I matter to people. And this is important because from here, then even when I go out into the world and maybe I get a little roughed up out there, that's actually okay because I have people behind me who say, I deserve good treatment. I have this backup in the world. So this is not really just about my little specific injury in the here and now. It's actually something much more important. This is actually about my sense of belonging and self-worth. Sometimes people have been out in the world, either as kids or adults, and something happens to them. And maybe nobody notices. And this can leave them with this small residue of not just the injustice itself, but sometimes, do I matter? Does my injury matter to others? So when people bring us a memory of an injury or an injustice, a lot of times it's because it went unrecognized. And underneath, I think that our job here is much like that parent who is appropriately appalled. We're supposed to go, well, that's terrible. That should have never happened to you. I'm sorry that happened to you. Simple but incredibly important, because what we're saying is what happens to you matters. You matter. Now, sometimes here, after hearing an injury, it can also help to wonder with someone about how they coped with it or got past it or through it, because usually there are important aspects of their personal resilience in this. And then we can point this out to them, right? Now, sometimes the injury people bring us are those kind of maybe self-inflicted ones. Right? And these are a little bit different. And we all have a few of these, and they're usually accompanied by a little bit of regret. People will say things to us like, yeah, my 20s were rough, or marriage just wasn't meant for me. I wasn't great at it. Or I made a lot of mistakes in the parenting department. And they're doing a couple of things here. They're trying to accept this and be accountable. And they're also saying, this causes me pain, right? And here our job, I think, is to communicate that we respect this, okay, this accountability, and also try to humanize it. And that might be something as simple maybe as acknowledging that these things are hard and that we do our best, and maybe that we learn as we go. And sometimes things like saying, yeah, parenting is hard. I think we all have some regrets. That's humanizing. Or we all do a little good and not some bad as well. And we make our peace with that. That's perspective. Or I remember one man saying to another man, I know exactly what you're saying. It's like there's this rule book out there for all this stuff, but I always seem to get it a decade too late. Okay, I thought that was a generous response because that does actually really capture how we all feel about some of our regrets. So our only job when we're listening for injuries here is to communicate, hey, good job taking responsibility for yourself and for being a human being. It's hard, and we just don't always know what we're doing a lot of the time. And we're under pressures a lot of times that we don't even understand. That's it. So pay attention because you'll notice friends, family, and even random strangers presenting their little injuries for acknowledgement. And you can be ready to pull out your reflection and go, yep, that's it. I see your humanity. I've got my own. I'll witness that with you. And there's a tiny bit of commiseration and companionship that goes on here. And it makes it all just that little bit more manageable, I think. Now, additionally, if you think that maybe someone is being a little bit hard on themselves, say that. Or ask them about something they feel like they did that was good, You say something like, okay, I see that little regret. Now tell me about something that you don't regret, something you're proud of, because I know you have a couple of those too.